Okay, this is the lessons book. You'll have a copy of this. It says, so it is with children who learn to read with fluency and well. They begin to take flight in the world as effortlessly as young birds take to the sky. William James. William James was America's first psychologist, and he was a pragmatist. He studied Dewey's work. Dewey studied his work and was very practical. He's one of my favorite. But this is what my program's trying to do is this. It's not to just teach phonics. I want to get a kid turned on to reading. So one of the things we have on our website is when a kid finishes a series, if he's leaving, we turn him on to a series so that he or she becomes a reader. So I've turned a student I'm working on who's a 7th grader into Paulson's Hatchet, and he's read all 3 of those. He's reading 3 of them. He's reading the 4th one, Brian's Hunt now. We have the Yellow School Bus, Magic School Bus for 3rd, 4th graders, Magic Treehouse for 2nd, 3rd, Babysitters Club, a whole slew of them we try to get. I also have novels that I try to turn students on. My goal is to make a reader out of the student. That's the purpose of my program, not to be great in phonics. That helps you become a reader, but that's not the goal. That is the vehicle to the goal. Okay. Now, this is your bottom line. Now, this is what you saw on the board. You saw this, this, and this. This is part of a vowel galaxy on the board. You have the Big Dipper, which has short vowels and diphthongs. You have a crescent moon and the earth, the green grass above it, the yellow and red iron ore in it. When you get good at this program, you can recite this from memory. And one of my students will do that later this week, recite it from memory with eyes closed, okay? But this helps you remember it, the Big Dipper, crescent moon and the earth. Here is the basic table of contents. And this is the curriculum right here. Concept 1, 2, 3. Now, my program initially was only meant for 1st graders on, but I kept getting 2nd graders who were reading in kindergarten. So I wrote a kindergarten series. I wrote a pre-kindergarten series, and I call that boot camp and pre-boot camp for kids that are reading below 1st grade, okay? You have books for this, I've included. You have books for all these that reinforce these concepts. This is DVDs that we have that you can purchase if you want, but you won't need it now because we're filming the workshops and you'll have access to it. It's more current. Okay. These are the starts. So my test here will determine a start. If a child can't read these words or these sentences and can't read anything, he's at a start 1, a non-reader. He knows nothing. So we'll have a 2nd grader there. We teach 4 consonants and a vowel and put them in the cab, and we get them reading day 1. Some start ones know the consonants and vowels, and then we put them in what's called the boot camp, which has all the consonants and 1 vowel, but they're non-readers. Some kids can read these words, but struggle here and on this. They're a start 2, the syllable stage, and they're learning the short vowels and all the consonants, and they're in my short vowel book. Some kids do okay here, but they break down here, silently and breaking. Orton people know this is VCCV rule. They break down here. So we basically clean up their consonants, teams, and vowels. They're at the breaking stage where we teach them how to break words into syllables day 1. So if I've got an Orton student who's been in Orton for a year and is ready for VCCV rule, the first day I teach it to him and I give him credit for what he knows on the board. Now we do get kids who can read all the way through here, but break down in here, some of the teams and vowel teams and diphthongs, but do okay here. So they're a start 4, and there we check their consonants, teams, and vowels. We check their R family. They will usually know it. So we go back here. Start 4s usually know the consonants sounds, pardon me, the vowel sounds and the consonants. They know R family. Many of them know diphthongs, and many of them know what I call walkers. They don't know the yellows and the reds. So I give them credit for everything they know day 1. So that means when I'm reviewing sounds day one, I give them credit for everything they know. And I put them in a book. So I try this book, which may be written in 5th grade with walkers. And it's a little too hard. I move to the diphthong book, which will be written around 4th. That may be the book I start with. But notice I'm starting halfway through the program. And last, you'll have kids who can read through here. They read the whole survey. And their problem is more comprehension and fluency. And so we have a comprehension lesson plan, which is more like a directed reading plan for these kids. We don't even do phonics with kids whose prime issue is comprehension. Okay. So the question is what start is your student? Our clinic, I determine the start. People test, then I am called with the material. I give them the start and I tell them what book to begin with. Okay. All right. This is your checklist when somebody is taking the test. All right, now we're going to go to the back cover. Everyone go to the back cover. If you've got this. This is your back cover, which is the scope and sequence. Okay, so you have concept 2, which is teams. 1 is short vowels. All these are the short vowel books. Then you move to vowel tag, which is breaking down syllables and line spelling. Okay, and these are books that fit it. Then you have changing when you go from open to open. If you don't know the word radar to radar, you learn this. That's now beginning start 4, and these are the books. Then you have the R family, the diphthongs, and these are books that hit it. Notice there's a lot of books that hit this. Then you have green walkers. Now green walkers are ones that actually fit. 2 vowels go walking, first does the talking. Some don't, but those do. Then you have what are called the yellows that have a couple sounds and reds where the sounds don't really make sense. Okay. Now, one of the books you're getting is Pep Baker and the Georgetown Ghost, which is for kids at the highest level. So if you get a kid at a high 4 or 5, you got a book for it. Okay. You're getting the Carnival Adventure series, Carnivals in Black, and the Adventures. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, it's in black. Okay, so this is Carnival. It's the black ones. Let me enlarge this. Okay, so here's the concept. Here are the books. Okay. So as you can see here, these are closed syllables. These are all the books that hit closed syllables. Okay. So there's never a problem in what book to get. I'll be coming back to this checklist all the time. Now, this is the straight through the program checklist, the start 1 or 2. But many of your kids are going to be a start 3 or 4. So you go to the advanced checklist. In the advanced checklist, reading goes ahead of spelling, which is logical. And so you may be with a start 4 child. You clean up their consonants and teams or their vowels. You teach vowel tag, maybe our family and diphthongs, and they're this far in reading, but they're only this far in their spelling. So reading goes ahead of spelling. Once a child is a higher reader or a higher student, linking the reading to spelling is a disaster. The reading can go 5 times faster than spelling. Okay. This is a big breakthrough in my program, is reading goes ahead of spelling. Okay. All right, somebody has their radio on. All righty. Now let us go to the concepts. We're going to go to concept 1 and 2. So on the back checklist, where you're going straight through the checklist, we're at concept 1 and 2. Now the yellow is what I call the yellow brick road. And that's what I do when reading goes ahead of spelling. And that used to be how I do it. So reading could be up here in yellow and spelling back here. But when I worked with Beyond Basics in Michigan, they wanted a checklist for the yellows. And that's why I created this checklist. This is the same as the yellow brick road on the back. This is the reading components. This is the spelling.
Hey, Steve, can you review the writing and the reading one more time, please? So
Okay.
you said the reading comes before the
Spelling. Yeah. Okay. So basically, when you read, you have words in your head and you're sounding out a word, and that sounding out is matching a word in your head. So if you're going the word magnet, well, that's a match in your head or a language, and you can read it. Now, when you spell, if you're going to spell magnet, you got to first, in Broca's area, say the word magnet. If you don't have a picture, and our kids don't, you got to go magnet. Then that connects to the word, to the motor gyri, where you have to write it, magnet. And then you got to remember it while you're writing it, magnet. And then you got to realize that net has a schwa, and it should be magnet. It should be magnet sound, magnet. And then you got to check what you do. So it requires much more integration to spell. If you're spelling the word running, you got to go run, connect, on. Then you got to recognize there's a vowel suffix. You got to double the N. So it's much more involved in rules and things like rules and maintaining the sounds and remembering it while you're writing it. See, your hand has written it wrong for a couple of years. So your hand right away, when you spell running, is going to want to spell it R-U-N-I-N-G. Magnet, M-A-G-N-T-U-T. That's the way your hand does it. So you've got to put the prefrontal lobe engaged and go, okay, I'm spelling. I need to make sure I'm aware of what I'm doing. That's why many kids don't transfer spelling to writing, because they automatically have it wrong in their hand. Their brain in their hand misspells it. So how we deal with that, when they write a sentence, we have them go back and underline any word with a suffix or any word they're not sure of and check their spelling. Okay.